you haven't seen the video that I put out on these guys that I had out breeding in this basket in one of my ponds out here, check out that channel and that video. But I have a bunch of their babies. You can see water movements there. But the hard part is, which I should have done, is set a net in here and then put that on top of it, like weigh it down. Next time I'll do that, hindsight. But now I have to figure out how to get those out of there since I didn't do that. So what we're gonna do is get ourselves a big net, but not this big net. That's what this is for. And this. We're gonna create a net 1,000 times bigger than any of these nets. Now this netting I actually got years ago from the old house. I believe I got it off of eBay. Find the listing, here it is. But it's 3 foot by 3 foot. And then I got myself some 1/2 inch PVC. Got the elbows. That way I can connect these into a square. So as you can see, easy, just connect my corners. Now the bottom part where the handle's gonna be, I gotta cut that in half to be able to put the handle part. As far as the dimensions for this, I actually just went 3 foot because this is slightly over, plus it has some stretch. And we're actually gonna wrap it around and I guess sew it on. I'm not much of a sewer, but we'll see what happens. But I gotta do this, the handle part, which for the handle, I've got 5 foot of 1 inch. So you can see it's gonna go something like that. Get those connected. I got a T, and I'll need another piece of 1/2 inch for that, and then that'll fit inside, you'll see. And to find the middle point, we've got 39 3/4. So 39 divided by 2, which is actually close enough to 40. So we're gonna round up to 40, which would be 20. And then there's a 1/4 left. So if I leave out an 1/8, so 19 7/8 it should be. That was a little bit off. That left an inch. So I went ahead and divided it into a 1/2 inch. It gave me 19 3/8. So if you don't get it right, you know, you can work your way down. And the next step would be to measure from this side to that side and leave the gaps. So like that. And then the small piece will keep because that's what will attach it. And looks like I'll need a coupling to put these two together. That's right, because I need a cap for the bottom. I can at least make sure it fits. All right, definitely fits inside. And we're just gonna have to sew that in. It's gonna be a big one. All right, now for the fun part, gotta try to sew this on. How is that gonna work? I have to like fold it in or something. So now that I know the sewing of that is working for now, at least a little bit, I think I'm gonna go ahead and glue these in the way they're set and ready, because I won't be able to after I sew it all in. All right, got the net sewn on here. So I went to a upholstery place near me and they actually did this for me and sewed it on because just not that good of a sewer. Didn't want to risk it. And the guy said he would do it for free, but I still gave him like 60 bucks because his time and his employees' time and my time, it was worth it. So now I've just got to glue on the handle. And to get it around his sewing machine, he did have to cut it and stick that in there and then seamed it through. Now it's pretty stiff. If I had to, I can throw some screws in it if it does come apart, but he says it's pretty strong, shouldn't, so we'll see. So the handle is glued on. Just to give you a size reference, that's a regular net there. I think that's a 6-inch net, and then this is like the Jonah's Perfect Dip net. Then that's the custom net. It's huge. While we wait for this handle to dry, guys mentioned using a fish bait trap, which I happen to have one. I just didn't really want to use it because, you know, potentially could hurt the fish with the mesh. But the smaller ones, and I don't even know, because the smaller ones could probably get through, but that hole does not look large enough for the juveniles I pulled out, which are about yay big. I don't know. Maybe there's some smaller ones in there. We're gonna try it. Got a bit of fishing net tied across here. That way it has more balance instead of just going through a couple of those. It should pull up even. I'll throw this in with my spool as low as I can, and then got some bread in there. So put these on. I'm ready to rock. See the water moving already. So I know there's fish in there somewhere. Let's plop this in. See what happens. Just leave it on the spool. Come back in a little bit. Probably just gonna eat off the bread. Hopefully it sinks soon. You just eat off the top. You can see him running already. Let's check this trap here. Looks like that bread ain't done nothing but muck up the water. I see nothing. So I don't think they like the bread. Good thing I made a net. 'Cause that did not work. Alright, handle is on. Ready to go. And yes, this thing is big enough to catch me. Thumbnail shots. Let's do them. And here I am showing off how big my net is. I realize now editing that I had left my mic off. Womp womp. But first thing I had to do was get all the guppy grass out. So I grabbed my rake, did all that because I didn't want to get the net hung up on all that guppy grass. As you see here, I found a friend while pulling all that guppy grass out. Little bullfrog. I guess that was part of the movement. So all that movement in the water was not fish. And you can only imagine my surprise as I was doing that. But let's go ahead and try to catch some fish. So I'm going to start off one end here and kind of just work my way down. And as you see how the net's going up and down. I'm doing that because the bottom is not that smooth, a little rough between like the roots growing up and the divots. And with the mascara barbs, they really will go hide into like nooks and crannies. So I was kind of just doing that up and down movement to kind of work them back. And if they were hiding off somewhere, then hopefully they would go running into my net. So finally make my way down here, see what we get, pull it up, first scoop, big old net. And it really wasn't as hard to work, which, you know, it's kind of surprising with a big net like that. And we got some fish. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay that down and let it sit in the water. That way I can go get another net and a bucket and get these guys out. And here we go. You can see a little bit of leaf litter in there, but you also see a flopping mascara barb. Pretty good size for like its first year. Really grew well outside. I was really surprised. And I'm sure I'm talking about something super important here with my hand. But unfortunately, that audio is lost with the wind. And instead you hear me like this. But I'll probably build another pond for these guys so I can jump them over into another pond. Just make it easier here in the future when I want to breed them again. Because I do plan on doing it again. And look at the size of that thing. Sorry, I got distracted. Saw a fish. But anyways, yes, I'll probably be doing this again, breeding them out. Next plan will probably be putting a screen or a net in the bottom of the pond. That way I can put the breeding cage on top of that and then later just pull out all the babies with a big net and not have to do all this catching. So more than likely I just built this net just for these two fish that I caught out of here, because that's all I ended up getting. After that it was pretty much nothing but bullfrogs. And I did work my way down the other side here because, you know, go one way, go the other, make sure you cover all the corners, and boom, what do we got here? What is that? That's a huge dragonfly larva. I forgot I even caught that thing. That thing was ginormous. Let's See that thing? Look how big that dragonfly larva was. It was almost the size of that barb. That's crazy. And there we have it. Little pond, finally getting ready for winter. And now those little guys won't freeze. Because although I am in Florida, I am in northern Florida. As much as I wish I was more southern, I do like having a little break from the constant summer. But the fish, they need to come in. At least these guys do. But next year, we're going to do more once it warms up. So let's go ahead and get this little fella into its new home. I did end up catching 2 out of there, like I said. And I ended up putting them with the parents. If you guys like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.